Guys, good morning, everybody. I'll keep it very brief because my subject is going to be a little bit offbeat. In the past 3 days, what I've heard here all along was richness and more richness, how to save taxes, how to give estates to your family, and save money and build more money. All these things about introductions in these brochures about me and people, I think we glamorize ourselves a lot by how many millions of dollars insurance were sold, how big was your client. So I might sound a little offbeat and a little emotional about the subject, so forgive me for that. I want to give you a little background what brought me in this industry and what I prospect, how I prospect. I'll give you some ideas you may not even want. After working in the bank 6 months, I realized that I could not afford to save enough money for my sister's dowry or whatnot to get them married into some good families. So the only alternative I had was to seek greener pastures elsewhere. Came to the United States on a 21-day visa. I'm going to cut this story a little shorter because of time constraints, but I want to get to the bottom of why I shy away from the kind of prospects we're talking about here and what I sell and how I sell. I came here, and my uncle, my mother's brother, first thing he said is, "Why you here?" On the phone while I was still in the airport. And he said, I hope you're going back. I said, no, I didn't come with those intentions. Do you have a visa to stay here? I said, yeah, 21 days. I have a tourist visa. What are you going to do after that? He said, I'm going to stay. I said, oh, that's very wrong of you. You shouldn't do these things. I said, okay, when are you coming to see me? I said, well, when I make enough money. So I decided not to go to Kansas, and I stayed in New York. But I didn't know anybody. I had only $8 in my pocket. Okay, that's what we were allowed to take out from India. Not more than that, even if you could afford to in those days. That was in '75. So I used to sleep in Central Park on a bench. I was a homeless person. I used to sleep in subways so that I don't die from cold. So I don't want to glamorize my life to you. Oh, I'm a President's Council agent. I make $200,000. Yeah, that doesn't mean a thing. Okay. So I started washing dishes in a restaurant, $2 an hour. I became a busboy. I became a waiter. I became a manager. I used to work from 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. That's all I did. Yeah, my sisters are married in very wealthy families. They're all richer than me. They're all multimillionaires. Because nobody knew that what I did in the United States, all they thought was I was a very, very wealthy person. Okay, I had a lot of money. Big career. Yeah, dishwasher. So I don't hide anything from anybody just to look good, so I want to tell you about it. I bought a restaurant in 84, and I lost it because I had went too big too quick. My ambitions, I wanted to be a millionaire very young. So I decided if I fall down, if I lose it, I'll walk away, I'll get up. I won't be hurt. I'm not going to die of a heart attack. And exactly that's what happened. I lost about $250,000. That was my accumulated money over the past 10 years because I had 2.5, 3 jobs, right? From 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So all I did was came home, washed my clothes with hand because I didn't want to spend any money. And put it out on the hanger and wore it next day. I lost all my money, and when I walked away from the restaurant, I owed about $93,000 to people. And the only way out was, again, I had to make some move or something different because restaurants was not going to do it for me. That's how I got in with New York life. And I always thought about my father. I never thought much about my suffering, but I did think about my mother's suffering. What did she have to go through? We used to sleep in one room, 5 of us on the floor. Okay? That was my life. So I decided that when I go into this insurance industry, it will not be because I want to be the #1 agent in the company. I want to be a chairman council agent. I want to work less. That was not my motive, and still is not. We have disagreements, me and my wife. She wants me to be home more with the kids and whatnot. And I've cut down now. I work 5.5 days like Kamal does, right? But that's not what I wanted. So where did I prospect? Who did I go with? The people I worked with. You know, we talked about the statistics. Indians are very affluent. They earn the most money. So, and they know it all, and they're very brilliant, and they're educated. So that's not what I wanted. I wanted to deal with people who were dishwashers, who were busboys, cab drivers, janitors, lower. The people who nobody would want to talk to. Those are the people I prospect with. So what happened is when I went with them, I asked them a very simple question. I share my life story with them. I tell them this is what happened to me. It can happen to you. Do you think you need insurance? And if the answer is yes, I'll say, well, Danny, well, how much? What can you afford? I give him a choice. What can you afford? $30 a month, $40 a month, $50 a month? Those are the kind of cases I write. But I write a lot of them. I average 1 case a day. I have 1,700 policyholders today in 10 years. Okay? And my lapse ratio is almost none because I let them make a decision. I let them sell to me why they need it and how much they should save. So maybe it's not a very glamorous talk that, you know, we wanted to learn how to expand beyond the Asian Indian market. What I did is I would ask them simply for referrals, who else do you think would want to see me? And I give them a pad and I give them a pen, please write a few names down. And they would do it. And then that's how I expand. Sometimes if I see a phone book is a little too big, I'll even ask them, would you mind if I took the phone book? And I'll make a copy of it and give you your book back, and I'll call these people. I still have phone books sitting in my drawers of 4 or 5 years ago that I haven't even opened because I don't have the time to talk to everybody. Must be over 5,000 prospects still needed to be called, and I don't have the time to call. So getting back to some ideas to give you, what I would do, just got to make the calls. Things I'm going to talk to you about are very simple, okay? Nothing sophisticated that you got to know a lot. I've started my CLU. I've done three studies just because I want to learn more, not because I have this dream of being the number one. I don't think I ever will. So make a lot of calls. I recruit a lot of people into the business. Why? Not because how I can make more money from them. I recruit them because I know what a good living I have now. I have a 6-bedroom house, 2 secretaries. Things are good because I want to provide, I want to give back. So I talk to the poorest deserving people. I try to bring them into the business. Okay? I don't look for the most brilliant or the most educated or most affluent. That's not what I look for. I look for someone simpler, hardworking, who wants to get up in life and do something. Okay? So my clients are not big-time doctors or industrialists, none of those people. Okay? So I recruit a lot of people. Not most of them last. In the last 10 years, I have brought in 13 agents in the business. 3 of them are executive counsel still in business, and 1 is a sales manager already making over $100,000, and the others unfortunately didn't last. And I don't have unlimited time to give to these people also on an ongoing basis. So they decided to make me a development associate, ultimately with a goal to get into management so I can really manage careers, which I'm going to give some serious thought to. So bring in a lot of people in the business. When I go to see people, and you all can do that, very simple. You may not be able to sell a policy, but then you can turn around and say, do you know somebody brilliant enough, aggressive enough, the qualities that we'll look for in people, hungry, who may want to take this career shot? And if the answer is yes, you take the person's name and number and call. Okay, you are going to get overrides anyway, 10% of whatever his first year commissions are. So you will be adding to your bottom line. It's not that you're doing something for nothing. You will get paid. Okay? And sometimes, you know, the retention is not there. And when these people leave the business, if they leave the business, whatever cases they have written, 8, 10, 15 cases are yours. Those become your prospects and your clients. Okay? That's one thing. What I also do is I don't know how many people use CAS in the system. You can flag it. You can run the list. What I do is I go by nationalities. So if there are people from Jamaica, if there are people from Ghana, if there are people from any part of the world, Antigua, what I do is I flag them according to their nationalities. So I have separate lists. And if I go to see somebody from Cuba, I'll talk to him and I'll say, do you know how many Cubans I have as clients? And I pull out my folder and I show him 50 people. He says, that's great, you're an Indian and you're dealing in our market. I say, well, I would like you to help me, give me some more. And on the contrary, if I see only 2 people from that country, I turn it around and I tell them, you know, I wish I would have more people from your ethnic background. Would you help me get to some? And then out of the sympathy, they help me again. Okay? When people call me for whatever reasons, I say to them, I reviewed your policy, I reviewed your file, and I make notes on that. Everything seems good. This is your beneficiary, this is your cash value. Do you know there's only one thing wrong? And they say, Danny, what is it? Because all of a sudden they get concerned. I said, the policy is too small. Okay? I plant a seed. It could be $1 million policy. I do have a few $1 million cases. It's not that the older people are poor, but 99% of my people are really poor people making $25,000, $35,000 a year. That's about it. Okay? So some of those, and the person could, you could say this to a person who has a $2 million policy and tell him policy is too small because his needs are that much bigger and it won't be a laughing matter. He will say, yeah, you're right. I was thinking about it. Maybe not now, maybe 6 months down the road, maybe a year down the road, because you plant that seed, he'll come back to you and say, I think I need some more. That's how I do it. So on an age change, you can make a call and you say, I'm just reminding you the premiums would go up. Would you want to increase your policy? Would you want to start one policy? I do a lot of cross-selling. Okay? Most of my the policies are sold. If I've sold to a husband, and regardless of which background, I know the subject is basically how did I expand beyond the market, but it could be applied in any market. If I've sold to the husband, I would like to look for the wife. If I've sold to the wife, I want to say to them, the premiums are small. If you are adequately covered, you may want to start something for your children so that even if they ignore the subject of buying insurance later on, they have something you started for them. 50,000, 100,000. With those paid up additions, those policies become a lot bigger as they grow. You know, the death benefit is $300,000, $400,000 in the mid-30s, 40s. So think along those lines. I also ask people, now imagine this may be the strongest idea you can incorporate, and probably this one thing that I'm going to talk to you about. If you could get in a habit of doing that, and you can do it with, I don't care, the client is worth $100 or $100 million. If you ask, you're going to get. So this is what I tell my clients. Anytime I call them or they call me, after all said and done, I hear to what he has got to say, whatever help he needs. Then I say to him, Jay, listen, I need your help. And I'm very honest when I say that. It's not a put on, it's not a show. I need your help. And because of my attitude towards them, they're always caring enough to listen to me. What is it that you need, Danny? I said, I want you to give me one client this year. I want you to give me one policyholder this year. This year. I don't say tomorrow. I say, 96 is a big year, 365 days. Would you try to think about it for me? I don't even say you have to. I say, will you kindly think about it? And they say, yeah, sure, I will. So if I have 1,000 clients and I say this to, and only 1 out of every 10 comes up, oh, my brother just got married, my sister had a baby, my cousin bought a house, and just 1 out of every 10 just tells me, calls me, says, you should call so-and-so because. Okay, that's 100 clients a year you're not going to get without doing anything. 1 out of every 10. Okay, because I keep asking. That's how I keep writing 170, 180, 200 cases every year. Because I ask, please help me. Get me this new one person. And the other 9 who have not helped me, I try to make them feel bad in a very kind way. When I talk to them again in 97, I'll say to them, you know, Amrit, I had asked you for a favor. He says, yeah, I remember, Danny, things are tough. Nobody has the money. People lost jobs. I hear it. And I say, yeah, sure. But you know, 97 is another year. Would you kindly try this year for me? So now remember, I have 1,100. From 1,000, it's up to 1,100. So odds are always in my favor that I'll get these people to help me. Okay? And the 1,100 become 12. And I keep asking the same question. Okay? How about helping me with one client? I don't give them a big responsibility because then people shy away. I used to take a stack of cards, 50, 60, and say, would you pass them around? And you know what? They'll take it and throw it in garbage because you're asking for too much. They're not your messengers. They're not your people who's going to be working for you. But when I ask for one person in a year, it's not that much, right? Just keep asking. I carry a telephone directory of my own clients in my car all the time, and I don't go alphabetically. I go in zip codes. So what happens is, if I'm traveling in zip code 11373, I'll go, and then in alphabets I would have about 40 or 50 people who live in that zip code, which is in 2 or 3 miles area. And I'll get on the phone and I'll say, I was in the neighborhood, could I stop by? If you made 30 calls, I mean, every third or fourth person would say, yeah, sure, come on over. And I'll just ask for some referrals, and I'll ask them who else is not insured in the family. If they qualify for disability, I'll ask them. If they want to start saving some money, I'll ask them for mutual funds. I'm not a big producer, but I ask those little things, $50, $100 that I ask them to put away, become big money for them when their kids are old. I think those are the people who really need insurance. That's my belief. That's my opinion. You could disagree with me if you want to. Because when a person of $1 million or $10 million worth dies, yeah, sure, he's got to give away some of his money. But the family doesn't go hungry. We were hungry. We had no clothes. We had no place to live. I think those are the people who really need my services, my opinion. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that you got to go that route. And you know, I get paid very handsomely for doing that, and I'm very satisfied with that. The nationality thing we talked about, you could also incorporate that towards employment. You know, when you talk about doctors or attorneys or CPAs, you just log them in as a doctor, okay? And then when you have your list and you have those 58 doctors as your clients, and you're talking to the 59th prospect who is a doctor, you say, by the way, you may want to take a look at, these are my doctor clients. I handle their pensions, I handle their estate planning, and he may recognize 1 or 2 or 3 names. When I do this to my people, they say, oh, you use so-and-so as your client? Of course he is. Really. And sale becomes so easy because I'm asking for referrals. If I have those 2,000 people, which is 1,700, 2,000, if I ever gather them in a room like this and build a chain like this, this person may not know the number 500, but he will definitely know me, and I'll know him, and I'll know him. And those 2,000 people would all know one another. Okay? And that's why I don't lose the business. Because whenever someone does give me some problems, I get back to the source. I go to the referral. I say, you know, so-and-so is probably unhappy with me. I don't know why. Would you want to find out? And they say, he's a good guy. You should keep this policy. Why not? And I don't lose anybody. Letters of recommendations, he did cover that. So what may be more powerful than the way he presented, if someone really loves you that much or likes you that much because they think your work was so valuable, you ask them, would you mind putting this letter on your stationery and I'll pay for the postage, my secretary will handle it, and could we mail it as if you're recommending or introducing me to your competitors or people of similar profession? When an ophthalmologist is going to get a letter from another ophthalmologist, he would open it. But when he gets a letter from you in a mail, he may not, because it's a solicitation letter, and he'll dump it before even opening it. So a car dealer would open a letter from another car dealer. Okay, and in it, what does he find? He says, Kamal is a great guy. I just took this liberty of, telling you about him. And enclosed this is card. I think he's a great guy. You should give him a couple of minutes. That's all you got to ask. No more than that. And then you follow it up with a phone call to this person and you say, Mr. So-and-so had promised to send you a letter about me. Oh, yeah, I received it. Oh, I'm the one. I'm the person. Do you think we can meet? Is Tuesday good or Wednesday better? Simple. What's the worst he can say? No, thanks. I have somebody. Oh, please don't bother me. And I say, thanks for your time, and I hang up too. I don't need to push it. You know why? Because every 10 people who say no, there is the 11th one waiting for me. Oh, yeah, sure, Dan, you're welcome. Come on over. And I'm just waiting for that welcome. I'm not there to fight or argue or so-and-so is this and that company is better. It's a please deal with them. It's all right with me. Okay? So I don't waste much time that way. I share my story. I tell them the right reason for buying insurance is because if you care about your family, make sure they don't get hurt. I have over $2 million insurance on myself. Not because I want to see my family wealthy. I don't want nobody walking up in my house one day and taking my children's toys and saying, putting them out on the street and saying, you guys can't play in this house anymore because your father didn't provide for you. Okay? I don't want to hear that, even in my dead. I don't know if you can hear when you're dead, but I don't want to hear it. Okay? So, expand beyond any market. I don't care about the color, about the religion, about the nationality, because people are people, remember. Okay? Unfortunately, I don't find many poor Indians who want to talk to me. Okay? I really feel very good they really don't need me, because I was very strongly asking New York Life if they would ever consider going to India. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a major player in bringing these people to their senses and asking them for 5 or 10 rupees, whatever they could afford, that's fine. Because no matter what denomination, those are the people who really need us, okay, because they're not educated enough. They're not, I don't want to look at just 1 million people here in the United States. What about the 800 million sitting there? And most of them are very poor. Most of them don't have much. Okay? I want to care about those kind of people. So do you say, well, Danny, then are you working in South Bronx? Are you working in Harlem? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got mugged a few times. I got attacked a few times. I got robbed a few times. Did that dissuade me from doing it? Absolutely not. Because I feel bad for these people. You see this scar on my head? It's one of those attacks. But I feel bad for them. I say, I'll give them whatever, my watch, my ring. I say, please take it, because I think you need it more than me. Because the desperation has brought you to a point where you got to do something that I wouldn't do. I'll just give it to you. Okay, because maybe the opportunity is not there for you to be an insurance agent like me. Okay? So those are the kind of people I deal with. Now, you can deal in any market, any color, any creed, any gender. Pick people who want you for the right reasons, because they care either about you, and then about their family, and then about theirs, and the business would come. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I keep hearing it's such a hard line. It's so much hard work. I say, think about the people who draw rickshaw, people who work with the hammers, building roads in India, patthar todte hain jo log. Think about that. Come on, we hard work. You sweat because you're talking to somebody for half hour an hour. What a joke, what a joke. I hear them and I feel like sitting down and crying, man, you work so hard. I don't want to name a lady. I was sitting this morning on a breakfast table and one agent commented on the young baby, oh, a future agent. She says, no. Why? It's a very hard line. I didn't want to offend her. I hope she's not sitting here listening to me. I said, okay, that was kind enough of you. This is what you think of our profession and stuff. I would not trade New York life for nothing in life. For nothing. I would not trade my profession for nothing in my life. Nothing. That's a promise. I love it that much. Okay? I feel very good. I think I'm overpaid. I'm overly compensated. It's very odd to hear somebody say that. The kind of work that I really did, I had 5 jobs in the morning in India when I started. I had a tuition, 6 to 7, then 7:30 to 8:30. Little kids, I used to teach them. Okay? Then 10 to 5, I was working in a bank. Then 5:30 to 8, I was a salesman in a sari store selling women clothes. 8:30, I would pick up somebody's account books, bring them home, work till 11 o'clock at night being a munshi. How much money went in, how much came out. Okay? Until 11 at night, from 6 in the morning, every single day. That was probably a little harder than what I do today. And I only made even $100, which was 1,000 rupees that time. It was a lot of money. In 70s, it was a lot of money. And people were so jealous of me. You say you make so much money. When I told them, guys, I'm leaving this job, they wanted to shoot me. Says people, they need recommendations from chief minister, chief commissioner. And you got this bank job and you want to leave it? I say, yeah, because I can't afford to keep my family together with that money. My wife has threatened me a lot of times. She says, you overwork, you don't care for us, you don't care for our family. I say, I work because I care for you. They don't seem to understand. So the complete opposite of whatever you would hear from Kamal or whatever. But there is always a fine mix of the two. When you play hard, and when you work hard. I somehow only work hard. So I didn't know, I didn't know how to play, and I still don't know how to play. Amrit was saying you got drunk yesterday. I said, maybe I don't remember. He said you were falling all over. I said, really? Did I hurt somebody? Did somebody got offended? Did I abuse someone? No. Well, I'm a mellow person. Maybe I may have one drink too much. You guys gave it to me. Why you brought me there? So, why did you bring me there? My time is up. Unfortunately, I see Maria walking.
You did good.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I didn't deserve it, but I appreciate that. I'm no legend. I don't want to be remembered as a legend. I'm just an ordinary life insurance salesperson. I want to be remembered that way. That's the guy who cared. That's the guy who came when we called him. That's all I want to be. Nothing more. Okay? I thank you once again.